but
We are live.
we are live. Let's see
Your friend
here.
Joe, what?
My friend Joe just picked up a car full of old Macintoshes.
Oh, the onesie Tallahassee, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you get some photos of?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I am going to try to send those to you. Maybe. Maybe,
All
maybe.
right, cool. We could look at them. I could pull them up. Maybe at the end of the show, perhaps.
Sure.
All right. Hey, Jeremy from London. Stay warm. Hope you got your heat fixed. My gosh.
Oh, no.
I think I remember him mention something about that. All right. You want to start? Or you
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's go in three, two, one. Welcome to the RetroMacCast with James and John. This is episode 559 for February 7th, 2021. Good morning, John.
Good morning, James.
How are you?
I am quite well. I am enjoying kind of the rainy weather we've had the last couple of days. Believe it or not, it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
nice when it's kind of drizzly and you get to be inside and
Hmm.
kind of working on projects. So yeah.
Awesome. We got something here for the rainy weather in the eBay finds.
Oh,
So
that's right.
thank you for that. Let's see. Um, I guess we didn't announce last week what we were going to talk about.
Yeah, it
We
was still kind of up in the air.
in the
Hmm.
air. We settled on looking back at February 2001 in Mac Addict magazine. There's a couple of gems in there worth exploring. And let's see. Beyond that, you said your friend picked up those Macs that treasure trove
That
in.
is correct.
How many? What was
Yeah.
the count on that? How many?
Oh goodness. I want to say just kind of going through this 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think around 11 or 12.
Oh, okay.
If Joe is on, maybe he'll chime in.
Hmm.
So we'll see if he's on the chat this morning. I think he was going to try to be.
Awesome. Boy,
Yeah,
there's. I'm looking at some of the pictures. There's some. A mess.
it's yeah, it's something that was in a warehouse for quite a while, obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Attempt to show pictures here. Unfortunately, Skype is not cooperating. You think you'd be able to click on a image that you sent me and just drag it to the desktop.
Right, right.
No, can't
No,
do that.
shall I send them to you? Text them to you in Messenger instead?
No, I figured out how to do it. It's
Okay,
just they
wasn't very intuitive.
well, yeah, they're
A piece of Microsoft software.
dispensing, yeah, with conventions. So, um, well, as I fumble around, I don't want to waste too much time trying to mess around with that. Maybe we'll catch up at the end of the episode if we've got time.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, we'll be right back with some eBay finds. Okay, and we'll move it along. Just so
Moving
you
right
know,
along.
we've got reservations for brunch,
Oh,
outdoor brunch. So I got to leave at the top of the hour. So
got it.
I'm not
Top of the hour to you.
I'm not going to
Okay.
dilly dally. All
No
right.
dallying or dillying. Okay, I'm
No,
ready when you are.
no. All right. Let's go in three, two, one. It is time for the eBay finds. Do you remember this one? If you were setting up your Macintosh TV and wanted to trick it out with the remote control, then you'd get this. This remote control wound up selling for $137. That's Australian. It's about $105 after 5 bids.
That is pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, it is. Right. When you think that the computer itself went for less than that not too long ago. The Crystal Think Different Apple logo. Nice looking thing there. Still available. Oh, I blew it away. I think it was like $1,000. And then the Apple One. The Apple One, still available. Buy it now. $1.5 million. Oh my gosh. $1.5 million. Or make an offer.
Then what do you snap that up yet, huh?
I'm working on it. I gotta move some money around. We'll see. Okay, we'll start off with this. This is just the guided Apple Macintosh cassette. This is what shipped with the original Macintosh. This one's still sealed. See, there's a few tears in the plastic there. Classic audio cassette. Does anybody still have an audio cassette, a tape player hanging around? If not, you can go on over to YouTube. Some folks have digitized the contents in there, and there's even so what you would do is you would play this video as you use the guided tour disc in your Mac, right? But I guess there was a video as well that was made that uses that same audio from that cassette. And so fortunately over on YouTube, Mac128.com digitized all of it, the audio and the video.
Love that opening with the Modern Dictator Apple there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting that they were still using in 84 that intro screen. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You think that would have been like earlier 80s. But no, it's still holdover there. You want to think that, this is still very an Apple II era when Macintosh was
This
released.
is the guided tour of Macintosh. If you've set up your Macintosh as shown in the unpacking and
It's so
setup
interesting
instructions,
to
please find the disk with the title, A
listen
Guided
to
Tour
this
of
video,
Macintosh,
especially the things
and
that you
insert
have
it
to
into
be
the
taught.
disk drive below the screen.
Right, like
Just the soft lighting and the way they're doing this, it seems to like a Barry White soundtrack would probably be more appropriate than
When
the
you
kind of
turn on
classical
your
music they're
Macintosh
using.
next, it will take you through a series of short exercises that'll help you master the mouse
anyway,
and the few
learn how to
skills
use
you
the
need
mouse.
to use
Meow.
how you know what side to put the disc in.
Please
and
stop
all
your
that
tape
stuff.
recorder now.
Anyway, yeah, it's really cool. And
And flipping the power
it had to be really interesting for the people who actually got the Apple brand new, the Macintosh brand new, and you have to wonder how many people actually took the trouble of playing the cassette
Yeah.
back then.
I'm
But
sure.
it is
I'm sure
neat.
I mean, imagine.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Mouse, what is this thing? What is, computer? Yeah. So,
Well, there it is. The sealed tape, starting bid $10. Make an offer.
$10. Not
10 bucks.
bad.
And a cool thing to have on the shelf, especially if you're setting it on a shelf with an original Mac. So there you go. All right. What do you got?
Next, we have an Apple Macintosh Quadra 950. This is a 68040 33 megahertz system with 256 mega RAM, 300 gig hard drive, vintage Tower Mac. I love the servers. I love the fact they have a little key on the side. I just love that. This has got a buy it now price. Buy it now of $950. This does have a make an offer. The shipping on this puppy is, like, to us from New Jersey, is $125 standard shipping, which is not a light computer. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the one thing I want to point out in the pictures on this auction is that awesome monitor that it doesn't come with.
Yeah.
The prototype 15-inch Apple monitor.
14? Yeah, I mean,
Something along those lines. Yeah.
that's what drew my attention.
Nice
obviously.
clear case. Yeah, right. Yeah, and I was like scrolling through okay, all right, this makes a lot more sense on the price too. It's this is the seller on this one. People on Facebook, cover your ears, is Jonathan Goldman.
And why are we covering our ears?
I don't want to get into it on air, but he's kind of well known for prices. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay, well,
And flipping
I
things.
wasn't
So
aware of that. I was drawn to that monitor, which unfortunately isn't for sale. I don't recall a lot of prototype Apple Macintosh monitors like this.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I can't think of one. And so I saw the clear monitor, so I immediately started zooming in on the pictures of that, even though it wasn't part of the auction. And you can see the little Apple logo there on the lower left-hand corner.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I think I have this exact same monitor, but not in the clear
Sure.
plastic. I thought, wow, that's the one to have right there.
Oh, yeah. The other thing I want to mention is this is he had a lot of these. There's still 3 available. He sold 9.
Wow. Yeah, a little pricey. But yeah, I think the real find here, and that's the when you're searching through these eBay auctions, you go running through the pictures, you never know what's going to pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Might be part of the auction, it might not be in this case, so it's kind of too bad.
Right.
But
yeah.
But sometimes you'll come across something in a lot of stuff that's like, oh, that is kind of rare, and the thing in the background of the picture that may be included in the auction is more interesting than the thing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, okay. Too bad the monitor. If the monitor were included in there, maybe not even then would it be worth $950 to me. But apparently he's selling some of these to somebody. All right, and finally, speaking of the raining weather, we've talked about some of these umbrellas before. This is one of the finest examples I've seen of this. This
Wow. Yeah.
Apple logo umbrella. These pictures with the wooden handle, just a classic. But look at the material. It's like I guess it's like a canvas, right? I'm not even sure this would work well in the rain. I think maybe it's more like sun protection. I don't know if it's been treated, if it's waxed, or whatever. You can see it looks like it's all intact. And look at that glorious 6-color Apple logo just painted on that canvas.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. Just stunning, right? And you can see how large that logo is on the side. It's such a stunner. What does it say about it? It says just used for promotion. Doesn't say anything more than that. Ships from Japan. So here again, it's one of these oddball things that may have been officially licensed, but may have only been in that market.
Yeah, maybe it was like a golf umbrella.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it'd be too water resistant with that material. But never. You're not going to use this anyway. Never.
Very true. Yes.
Yeah, this is a very nice item. Again, shipping from Japan, $380 is the buy. Now, there's no make an offer. I've not seen one like this. It looks to be like a legit one. Maybe again just for Japan. Really nice. Okay. And now we will flip over to our Mac Attic. If I can find it. So click around here. Here it is. All right, you ready to go?
Yeah, all set.
All right, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to look at the time capsule. Zoom back 20 years to February 2001 in Mac Attic magazine. I downloaded the PDF on archive.org, which is very handy. Are the discs there too? Are all the discs there? I can't remember. Of course, that was the big deal about Mac Attic, is that wonderful shareware and demo.
Yes.
CD-ROM.
Yeah, but they do have all the. It's in a different location, but they do have all the. I think they've got all the discs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's handy. Back in an age when you'd spend, probably the entire month and all of your data caps on AOL.
Right.
Download all this stuff.
Yeah, and not just demos, but also had like actual Apple official software updates.
Yeah, yeah,
drivers for
right.
various things. That
Updates
it
for
was
things that
great.
for
Fonts,
stuff that
icons.
not only was it easier to just pull off the CD, sometimes that stuff wasn't even readily found. I mean,
Yeah.
this is before everything was really easily, while there was the internet, it wasn't as the easiest thing to find it.
Yeah.
Not everybody had a great website. Well, anyway, so I think for me the most exciting part was cranking through the CD-ROM. So the title of this issue is finally an application that does exactly what you want because you built it. It's easy. We show you how. Do you ever dabble in programming? Ever think you wanted to make an app?
Uh, only on the Apple II.
Oh,
Yes.
how far'd you get?
I got paid $500 for a program
Oh,
I
that's
wrote for a real estate company. Yeah.
remember that now.
Back in the '80s at $500. Heck yeah. Hey,
I think that was on Apple 3. Yeah.
oh yeah, you're right. It wasn't Apple III, but it was because I knew Apple II, Apple Basic. So yeah, it was
Right.
an Apple III. But
Yeah,
hey, is there
John.
any way to remove the StreamYard banner from the bottom of the feed?
You know, that is an interesting thing. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Perhaps there is. Um, how about that?
It's still
That's
covering up
better.
a bit. It's a little
Oh
bit
yeah.
better.
How do I get rid of all of them? Hide current banner. How about that?
Hey, all right, cool.
You know what? They updated. Speaking of that, of course, the audio audience is scratching their head. They updated the. There we go. Our standard stuff. Like it used to be
Very good.
defaulted our banners and stuff, and then they just
Uh huh.
pushed some kind of update, and then we lost all our decorations. Did you just notice that, or somebody pointed out in the chat?
Somebody pointed it out in the chat. Yeah,
Thank you.
the
Somebody's paying
scarlet
attention.
swordfish and
All right, good. Now that we get that fixed, let's dig into this issue. I wanted to look at page 15. That's PDF page 15. This guy, we've been talking about this because it's kind of a topic as of late, the idea of running.
oh yeah, since we're going to have to go
Yeah,
virtual again. Yeah.
yeah, with the new M1 Max and not having the x86 compatible chipset, the idea of having to virtualize Windows again, a la what Connectix used to do with Virtual PC way back when. Maybe there's a market for them to emerge, but they're gone. I decided to look up and see whatever happened to Connectix. They wound up selling actually a lot of their stuff at the end to Microsoft, interestingly
Huh.
enough.
Huh.
But I thought this would be a good topic of conversation to look at Connectix and the stuff that they did in their run. But here's an ad for Virtual PC, which includes Windows 98, right? They included a license, so it kind of made sense that
Yep.
they eventually got sucked up by Microsoft. But it allowed you to run Windows 98 on your G3 or G4. And
Slowly, very,
they
very
say
slowly.
now up to twice as fast. So this is Virtual PC 4.
So,
Twice as fast as 0. Yeah.
I was going to say a turtle running twice as fast as normal is still not going to, make it across
Yeah.
the road in time. Yeah.
Look at this little chart here. Size matters. Balancing MP3 quality or size with quality. I thought this was almost a joke, but then I had to remember back about the age of the early days of digital audio and the MP3. Remember, we're still operating constrained, slow modems and small hard drives relative to these MP3s that are coming out, and people actually spent a lot of time trying to figure out what bit rate they're going to encode their audio based on what it was. If it was just spoken word or if it was orchestral music or something. And look at this.
Sure.
This symbol, which shows how you would take "The South" by Chris Rock, which is just a spoken word, and they recommend you encode that as 64 kilobits per second in mono versus all the way up to, well, they don't even go above 128. Some music, Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, they say 128 kilobits per second. So
That was probably the highest.
yeah, you probably couldn't go above 128 back then, let alone, most what we do today is a lot of lossless or
Sure. Yeah.
bit rates. And then along those same lines, the next page, Small Storage Madness, shows us a bunch of competing formats at the time, and none of these really exist anymore today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually have one of the sticks for the memory stick for Sony.
Yeah.
The Sony TV I have in the back actually has a slot on the front for one of those.
Sony is famous for their proprietary formats, going back to Beta, right? And they have their memory stick and all their various formats. But yeah, so you look at this list, the Pocket Zip. Remember that? That was a real flash in the pan.
Yeah, compact flash is the only thing that's still around.
Kind of around, yeah, because it would wind up putting a pretty reliable, sturdy storage. But of course,
the fact that it ran off basically the IDE standard made it compatible with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I don't even remember ID Photo by Sanyo.
Mm-mm.
It said coming early next year in this article. And maybe it never did come out.
Right.
Got lost in the shuffle. And then there's smart media as well. Let's see. I'm gonna skip ahead to something that looks really awesome. I bet would have blown minds back then. This is a monitor solution by Panoram Technologies. Look at this thing.
Look at that beast.
They took three 1280 by 1024 LCD panels and put them in a single enclosure with a giant foot on it. So you could hook this thing up to your Mac or PC, and that would give you a total of 3840 by 1024 pixels.
So what is your current monitor resolution?
Well, I did the math, right?
Okay.
Now, there's a gotcha on this thing. So it really is three monitors, right? So there are seams.
Yeah. There's a seam, yeah, and like hard angles where these things are connected. They're not connected to be flat. They
Right. Now you could extend your desktop through it, but you'd have to have some kind of Tower Mac because you required 3 video cards.
Video cards, sure. Right, of course,
You're running 3 cables to this thing. Okay. And so if I did the math, so my monitor right now is 5120 by 1440, which is about 4 times as many pixels as this thing.
Uh-huh.
And my monitor is around 1,000 or so. This monitor, adjusted for inflation, is, well, the retail back then was $22,750. Adjusted for inflation, that's like $33,000.
Oh, jeez.
So you're getting a quarter of the pixels for 33 times the cost. Not to mention you've got to buy 3 video cards.
3 video cards, sure, yeah.
Which are probably going to run you,
and
I don't know, $500 a piece.
Right. And the tower that has enough slots to hold all those video cards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my gosh. But I'm...
Wow.
Yeah, the thing, 80 pounds this thing weighed in. 80 pounds. That's unbelievable. But if you were rocking one of these in 2001, I'm sure you were the envy of everybody in the office.
Yeah. You have to even wonder what you were doing for a living that would have been an advantage of having that many monitors back in 2001.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't just using it for gaming. So it would probably been pretty darn awesome for some flight sims.
Well, you see
back
in the
then.
example there, the guy's designing the F-14, so that sounds like good work. And here's something that caught my eye. This little hacking and making stuff work by any means necessary. The EI Corporation's thumb drive.
Yeah, so this actually sent me on a little bit of a deep dive. I'm like, ooh, thumb drive capitalized.
Yeah.
Does that mean like thumb drive is one of those things that was an actual a single thing called, like a product name that kind of ended up becoming like a Xerox or Kleenex or something like that?
That's exactly what it means. Kind of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so we all talk about thumb drives.
Right.
That's become
As a generic term for, yeah.
USB stick, memory stick. And this article is a quick blurb, but they talk about it, the idea of a standalone USB-based memory storage device that you could just stick in the slot and use it as a drive. That's a new concept right here. And they're writing about it like, wow, this is going to be amazing. Now, they couldn't get it to work with the Mac at that point.
Yeah, that was the other thing is like, ooh, drivers, having to like download drivers for a thumb drive, that just seems so weird, especially on a Macintosh.
And so EI Corporation had this name Thumb Drive, capital T, capital with the capital D on drive. And they trademarked this thing or copyrighted or whatever. And I looked it up, and it has since been abandoned. This company no longer exists. But they had the copyright on that name back then, and something happened to them. I don't know if they couldn't fulfill it or other companies jumped in. They didn't. It wasn't. Maybe the idea wasn't properly protected or patented or whatever, and they sort of weren't able to defend the name, and so it became abandoned as a result. And now we all call them thumb drives, but you got to thank EI Corporation for that. So there you go. That's kind of interesting. Is there a picture of it? Oh, there it is, right there. Yeah. They actually changed the name later, and they would call it the stylish Q drive. But there it is. There's thumb drive, right there. All right, let's talk a little bit about the headline article here. Build your own apps. Can't find the program you want, then make it yourself. They go through and they talk about, at the time there were three main solutions for building your applications: Real Basic, Apple's own Cocoa, this is for Mac OS X, and PowerPlant by Metroworks. And
Which I've never heard of PowerPlant before.
Oh yeah, that was sort of the standard. Code Warrior. You remember the name Code Warrior?
Oh yeah, Code Warrior. Sure. Okay.
Yeah. And all our apps were developed these ways, typically by PowerPlant. I got to say, I think I probably had maybe a half dozen starts at trying to program Mac where I would get excited about it. I would get into it. I would have tools. I would read books, and I would get so far, and then sort of just like, oh, just get worn down. I used to program in school, but never for GUIs. And there's something fun in the simplistic way of command line stuff and just doing things. And once you get into the GUI world, I don't know. It just never took. So I'm ready for my 7th false start here now. We've got new tools. So this is actually a pretty good. I guess I bet you I even probably went through one of these tutorials.
Back in the day, sure.
This may have been one of my false starts. Because Real Basic, I think I actually did mess around with Real Basic for a time. So let's move along let's go to page 44. And this just reminded me. Now here's an article called Extreme Mac. Tony Hawk shares his top secret tips for making killer action sports videos. And this reminded me of a story that links you and I and Tony Hawk. Right?
Yeah.
Remember the story.
Of course.
At the time that Tony contacted us, and I can't remember, did he contact me and I put him in touch with you?
He contacted you. Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah, he because he sent it to the RetroMacCast
right
email. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
And did we ever figure out? He must have come across a post or something that you had posted about your
Yeah,
new.
well, no. All right, so when I first made the little tiny Macintosh, the little 1/3 scale Mac,
Mhm.
and it got picked up by a few, like got
Mhm.
picked up by
Some other news sources.
yeah,
Yeah. So maybe he found
Culta
it.
Mac and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, anyway, so he contacted us and commissioned John to build one.
Yep.
And at the time, I didn't know. I just knew he was a professional skateboarder. I didn't know he was like this huge Mac fan. We've kind of figured it out. It must have been after, if he wants something like that for his wife. But I didn't know, it could have been she was a huge Mac fan, or this is just a weird gift, or whatever. But you go into this article in Mac Addict and you find out, oh yeah, he calls himself a Mac fanatic, and he was really, he was into editing his own videos on his G4 in Final Cut Pro, and was really, the Mac fan, and so
Mm-hmm.
makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense that he wanted that, and I think what did he? It was going to be a gift, and he was going to. I think it was an anniversary or a birthday gift for his
Yes, it
wife.
was. I think it was an anniversary because he had me put pictures. This is how we realized it was actually that Tony Hawk. Because at first,
Right.
it was like, because you don't want to go, "Are you that Tony Hawk?" So he sent. I asked him what. So I did the little Macintosh, and I was doing wallpapers for the little Macintosh, and I'm like, "What do you want me to do?" And he's like, "Oh, here's some pictures of the place that we got married, and it's like this castle in Ireland." So I'm like, "All right." So Google that castle name. I can't remember it offhand. Something Manor and Tony Hawk, and sure enough, a bunch of articles came up about Tony Hawk getting married in this castle, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, it is that Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty cool. Anyway, so somewhere in his house, maybe that's. Did you sign it? All artists sign their work. All right. And one last thing, or one more thing. Um, Here's a little game that, John, you said you wanted to try. You
I
haven't
want to
tried.
try this one. Yeah, Pangea always did good stuff. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I've been doing Pangea software since the Apple II GS. Anyway, Crowmag Rally looks like a fun little racing game that they did. Of course, they did a lot of stuff, 3D engine related stuff back then. You had
Hmm.
Nanosaur, you had what was the bug one?
Pangea. Is it called Pangea? Oh, that's the name of the
No,
company. That's the company. Yeah. What is
yeah,
the
this company.
machine?
Yeah.
Can't remember. Yeah, I know the one you're
Oh my
talking about. That
goodness.
was the one that didn't it? It was like pretty much a showcase for the original iMac.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it came with that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that particular one came bundled. Well, Nanosaur came bundled with it
A
also, but I think the
Nanosaur.
bug one as
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Well, this Crowmag Rally is networkable. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Up to 6 other racers.
Which is always fun when you can do that. They mentioned Star Wars Episode One Racer, which is also networkable, and I really enjoyed that one. Was a fun one playing against other people.
All things DG reminds me.
Bugdom,
Bug.
aha!
Yeah, I couldn't. I was getting confused in my head with all the bug
Thank
related
you,
movies
Scarlet
that would come out at
Swordfish.
the same time.
Right? Yeah, Bugs. There was Bugs Life. There was the Ant. I
Ants.
think with
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Bugdom. Yeah. Well, anyway, Crowmag Rally. I guess the demo was on this disc, right? But you can probably
yeah.
snag the full version over at Macintosh Garden, I would imagine.
I would imagine. Hmm.
I would imagine. All right. Well, anyway, that was fun. Lots of interesting stuff back going on in February 2001 in Mac Addict magazine. Go download that magazine at archive.org. Okay, and let's do some news. Whenever you are ready.
I will be ready in just one moment. Here we go. All right, all set.
I'm not ready. I need to. reconfigure some stuff here, and boom. Oh, is that what I want? That's not what I want. All right. I'm looking for. Oh, here. This is what I want. Okay. Now I'm ready. All right.
All right.
In 3, 2, 1. I want to think we've talked about this before.
I don't remember
The
this one at
idea
all.
of hosting MiniVMac on your calculator.
I don't remember this.
Apparently, it's been going on for some time. Some enterprising folks have figured out how to do that. There's a recent photo of it happening over on the Vintage Apple Reddit group, where they've got this TI Inspire CX2 running MiniVMac. See the picture of that?
Mm-hmm. Now it looks like they're using. They did a custom version with lower resolution. You see how big the icons? Yep. Which is when you go over to the griffle.net, I believe is the MiniVMac. There's the option you can have it compile a version for you on the fly, and one of the things you can do is set up a specific resolution. So it doesn't have to be 512 by 342. You can do 640 by 480 or smaller, as they did in this case. Yeah. Which, of course,
got stuff that's bigger than the screen. You can't see.
Yeah, I'm sure it must. Yeah. But still, pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, this would have blown minds when I was in high school if I could have done this.
So it looks like the software that they use to do this is called NDless, like needless, but without the E's. There's a link in this article to the software that they use to basically jailbreak their calculator.
Wow. Very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Makes you just want to go out and get one of these calculators just so you can try this, make this happen. I had it's funny because speaking of this, the other day I came across a Vizio tablet that I had from years ago that I had gotten kind of specifically to run MiniVMac.
Oh, nice. Yeah, okay.
And I probably hadn't touched it in, I don't know, a long time. And
all right, this is one of the Android ones?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can also do Basilisk too on the Android tablets.
Cool. All right, and over here on Circuit Breaker on Verge. Now there is a YouTube video, but it's all in Italian, so unless you speak Italian, it's going to be difficult to glean all that went into this. But there's a great video, but it's sort of summarized on The Verge. That says someone modded a Game Boy Color to act as a much better Apple TV remote. This is a work of art. They have this custom case from a modded Game Boy, and the design it's very.
I've never seen that model of Game Boy. Interesting.
Well, it's heavily modded.
I mean the case. I'm just talking the case design.
Yeah, that's
okay.
It's modded.
Modded also. Okay, got it.
Everything is modded and hacked and whatever, but it's very reminiscent of Apple Pippin. The lines, the color.
Ah, okay.
With the 6-color Apple logo. But you go to the video and you can watch all that went into this. It's a very, very well-produced video.
Yeah.
And essentially what they were able to take the IR codes that your Apple TV would respond to and get them into this thing and map them to the keys and whatever. And sure enough, you can control your Apple TV with this little guy. I don't know if you can play games too. I imagine. I don't know.
Well, it looks like it's using a cartridge, so I guess you could swap it out for.
Yeah, look at that. So I mean, all the exacting details with the 6-color Apple logo decals.
Yeah.
Boot screen with the Apple logo there in 1-bit glory. Very, very well done. Anyway, some cool projects. Well, there's always cool projects somebody's working on that's trying to
absolutely
make something do something else. Make one old thing do the old thing of another thing. Or one new thing do an old thing, or an old thing do a new thing. lots of stuff like that going on. Always fun to see. Okay, we got a couple of minutes here. Let me see.
Oh yeah, we want to see if we can bring up those pictures.
Yeah, let's see if I have a better look here. I'm gonna go over here and I'm going to pull up these pictures. Let's open with. Yes, I will open with preview. That's the default. Okay. All right. You ready to go?
Oh, sure thing.
Let's share these things first before I go too far. We'll share it right there. Aha. There you go. Okay. I'm going 3, 2, 1. Okay. I pulled up the pictures now of the treasure trove your friend pulled out of a where? This was
This was in a warehouse somewhere in Tallahassee. Obviously, this warehouse had been this stuff had been there for a long time. Now the gentleman who owned all these systems, I was like, did he get these from it looks almost like a stack you'd get from a school sale, right? But it's actually ones that he had bought brand new over the years.
Oh my God.
For his businesses. And then, basically retired them to a warehouse somewhere that he was then cleaning out. And so he contacted Joe. Joe is a really good friend of his. As a matter of fact, this guy actually performed the wedding ceremony for Joe and his wife, Noreen. Anyway, so Joe ran down from Atlanta to Tallahassee and came back with a carload of stuff. And Joe is going to be nice enough to give me that server that you see in there, the G5 X server. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, look at the yellowing. So this is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Look at this this LC or whatever this is in the far left.
Yeah. Right. What was sitting on top of that caused that much uneven.
And a lot of missing keys and keyboards.
Missing keys. Yep.
But some really old stuff. You see the stack of 2 CIs or X's.
Right. And he has an actual Mac 2 down in there. You can just kind of see poking around the corner.
Yellowed.
Joe is very excited about getting a second color classic. So.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Too bad. So there's some definitely some projects here.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Some slightly newer stuff. Some G4 towers. An eMac.
eMac.
Find eMac. Yeah. Nice little haul. Be fun to see how these things if they get resurrected there. Is that
I'm jealous of that 11 by 17 inch scanner.
Well, there's a couple of iMacs here loaded up in the car that weren't in the.
Oh yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah, he had a couple of Blueberry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we don't know about the working condition of any of this stuff.
He all Joe has had time to do is go in and make sure there's no batteries in any of them. So
yeah,
that's as far as he's gotten at this point.
Yeah. Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be a good experiment to do some retrobiting on some of those.
That is, yep, that is his plan. Is try to do a combination of simple green on some, maybe take some of the worse as far as yellowing, and also just condition of the case so he can practice doing some retrobiting.
Awesome. All right. Well, you'll be sure to let us know when you get the Xserve and what adventures you have with that. It's been a while. I have one, and boy, those things are loud.
Yes.
God. Oh my gosh. All right, and heavy too. Those things are built like Mack trucks. Okay, well, next week, I don't know. We'll have to talk about next week. I didn't have any ideas immediately, so we'll just have to stay tuned and see what we drum up. Anything else we need to talk about, John, here before we?
No, nothing offhand.
All right. Well, cool. Well, thanks everybody for joining us out there in the chat. Remember, we are streaming live on YouTube and the RetroMacCast channel, 8 a.m. Central. And we are glad to see lots of folks. Hey, look, it's Mac84 has even joined us.
Nice.
Klaus from Sweden, Jeremy from London. There's Scarlet Swordfish, all things DG. Who did I miss? David Fretz.
Chris Logan.
Aha.
David Fretz.
Yeah. Rick. Oh, I haven't seen Rick in a while. Look at all those people out there. So thanks for.
Nice.
I'm sorry I can't stick around and chat. I've got a brunch.
You got to go. You got brunch.
Oh, Rob from Colorado. Sorry, Rob. Didn't want to miss you out. Okay. Well, we'll be back next week with more RetroMacCast. Until then, remember, it's not old.
It's retro. I don't know why I sung that, but
you left me hanging there. I thought you had glitched again. I have been making the live. Oh, Rick says he hasn't made it live in a while. Yeah. All right. Well, I should have the files, so
yeah.
Shape.
Well, enjoy your brunch. So, is there what's your particular favorite when you go to brunch? Do you have a like for me, it's eggs Benedict.
That's what I'm going to have. They do a it's crab. Egg
Whoa.
yes.
Where are you going?
Great Southern.
Never heard of that.
Great Southern out in I'm
Destin, Sam Destin.
Seaside.
Seaside. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you've never been to Great Southern, that's our favorite place to go to eat breakfast. I always finish with a slice of key lime pie.
Oh, all right. That sounds good
because they
too.
make the greatest key lime pie that I've ever had.
Well,
Seaside, for those out there might remember, or maybe you don't if you don't know your trivia. That's where Truman
Show. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so you can go see Truman's house there. It's a quaint little beachside community, and some nice dining options out there. All right. Oh, Rob, been listening for years. Got up early this morning to watch your things.
Nice. Hey, Rob.
Hey, glad to have you. Yeah, it's been fun doing the video thing. Although I feel like the more I do the video, I start neglecting the audio audience.
Yeah, we definitely need to make sure we're describing things versus just going, hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Hey, that thing. Okay, next.
Right. And I was listening to the audio. I don't know if you listen to the audio. My audio has been pretty bad the last few episodes. A lot of hissing on my microphone.
Oh, really?
My levels were too high. I was picking up too
much
noise. How's it sound to you here? I mean,
well, it sounds fine.
Yeah.
Just in your
No, I mean to you. I mean so I don't know why I'm getting it on my audio when I record the audio, but.
I mean, if I hear any hissing, it's not much, but again, just the little earpiece that I have in here may not be picking up as much.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
As I gradually tweak things here, I may use actually a new microphone. Next.
Chris says you sound a little bit low.
A little bit low. Yeah. Well, I lowered my gains. In an attempt to drop that noise, because I thought I was amplifying everything too much.
Yeah, I think what we're going to have to do is maybe do some experimenting, making sure both our levels sound about the same before we start recording, to make sure our mic levels are compatible.
Yeah, I'm soft. Well, maybe because I just talk softer. I don't know. No, I think you're right. My levels have always been low, even back when I was using the blue microphone. But anyway, yeah, it's something I need to work on. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Oh yeah, John's been.
Oh, I've been cracking. Oh no.
Cracking. Yeah, and I didn't know if that was just noise coming across the, compression and whatever. If that's actually he's peaking over there. So
Huh.
yeah,
Huh.
maybe John's a little too hot and I'm a little too cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely something we'll try to fix for next week.
Yeah, John, you might look at in Audio Hijack Pro, if you put one of
Uh-huh.
those peak level meters as one of the
Right.
instruments in there,
Yeah. Good point.
kind of see. Make sure you're just around the middle there. All right, thanks for the audio feedback, folks.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.